Hello, and welcome to another MCO update on XRP. The XRP chart is pushing higher still on the smaller time frame. We're going to take a look at that. I just want to explain again the structure here on the 4-day time frame where things could be going. Someone asked me yesterday in the comments. I didn't quite understand the comment, but the question was try to answer. If not quite sure if I really understand the question correctly, but the question was whether I'm interpreting an impulse as a correction. So I'm not quite sure what it means, but just wanted to explain that the yellow scenario is still preferred. And this move to the upside, indeed, from the July low 2024 is indeed seen as an impulse. Yeah, I think maybe that was the question about. This is seen as an impulse. Yeah, so the idea is that after a larger degree, third wave price top indeed formed the top in 2017, 2018 there around $3.30, $3.40, which is also the level that got tested here again in January this year. Oh yeah, it was January. Price formed the price top in the third wave, and then from there a triangle started. Okay, you can actually see that quite nicely. It really does look like a triangle, not only an Elliott wave triangle, but actually visually a triangle forming a sequence of higher lows and lower highs. And a problem that many Elliott wave analysts always highlight is that this move up was just a corrective rally and the price did not form a new high in the 2021 bull market. Well, this can be, the reason for that was probably the triangle. Okay, so A wave down, B wave up, C wave down, D wave up, E wave down. Valid triangle, and then typically to the opposite side of the E wave, you would expect a breakout from the triangle, and that was here then the fifth wave to the upside. And a breakout from a triangle, if it was really a triangle, if it was really an Elliott wave triangle, then we know that the fifth wave breakout is normally quite aggressive. And I think we can all agree it was quite an aggressive move up. So that's the idea. Now, the problem with the triangle is, though, that the proportions aren't great. So, for example, here, what is potentially the D wave of the triangle was quite weak. The E wave was also, okay, that was quite small, but that was probably because the D wave was quite small. So it's not perfect, and that the issues with that structure leave the door open to various interpretations. Okay, so I could, for example, say that maybe this fourth wave was not a triangle. Maybe it finished here, but would it really change that much? Not that much. It would be a different structure. I would then be looking for 5 waves up from the 2020 low, of where we have wave 1, wave 2 complete. This would be a third wave, and the advantage of that wave count would be we could prepare at least for another fourth wave and another fifth wave that might take XRP in this cycle even higher. I have a similar structure on the Bitcoin chart that allows also after the next high that I'm looking for, or I'm watching for in both of these scenarios, yellow and white, right? I'm looking for another high in both of these scenarios. But on the Bitcoin chart, I have a similar structure where also we could get another higher low and another higher high. But the thing is, this correction would be still quite substantial, okay? So you might not want to rely on that because the risk will be very high after the next swing high. It doesn't mean we start a bear market necessarily, but I would expect that. I would at least prepare for that. And then if something less bearish occurs and the price finds support somewhere in a support area that we will then define and communicate, well, even better. Okay, even better, but we are far away from that. So the bottom line is, in both of these scenarios I've shown you now, yellow and white, the market could form one more high before a larger correction unfolds. And that larger correction could be either white wave 4, or we could really form a price top in the yellow wave 1, wave A, which would lead to a much larger correction, which could reach the area maybe around 50, 60 cents. But we are far away from that anyway. For now, we are simply tracking here a potential uptrend that started on the 7th of April. And against that level, the focus could be on higher prices. And the market in that one more high that we're watching for should reach $4.20 next. Then $5, $5.65, maybe even $6.60, but that will depend on how the microstructure develops over the coming weeks and months. Important is that at any point, I mean, even if we break below the April low, the yellow scenario for one more high is technically still valid, but I cannot obviously, I mean, that obviously then in that case, no low formed, right? But as long as the market does hold above the April low, we can focus on higher. Directly below, it would be an extended fourth wave. Then the main Fibonacci support that is relevant to keep the bullish scenario intact is located at $1.21. Now let's also take a look at the short-term chart for XRP. Let's open that. Thanks so much for watching the videos on this YouTube channel. If you've been thinking about joining MCO as a member, now might be a great time. You can use the link in the video description and apply the discount code right below it. You will get 50% off your first month of our Gold membership, and you can explore everything we offer. It's the easiest way to test the membership, see if it's a good fit for you, and get a feel for the community, join the conversation, and I'm looking forward to meeting you in our member area. Because on the short-term chart, the market formed, or finished now potentially a fifth wave rally in the area around $2.46. Now, I'm not saying this has to be the top. We could easily get another high, another push to maybe $2.56. But what we have already is from the swing low, from the 7th of April low, we have a pretty healthy looking 5-wave move up. Okay, it's a diagonal pattern only, but it is a 5-wave move up. I can label it like that. It's a potential leading diagonal pattern. A bit of an ugly one, as I said, but it's a valid one. And while the market could still extend a little higher, the requirements for all 5 waves have completed. I did explain that earlier today in our members area. It was quite, I think, an on-point formulation of how I see it. So the explanation was that the price has now reached the 246 level, aligning with the current projections of that 5-wave move up. Okay, targets reached. While the structure shows characteristics of a completed 5-wave sequence, there is no definite evidence that wave 1, so this 5-wave sequence, has fully completed. And we need a break below $2.26 to signal that the wave 2 has begun. And then I also said that until then, the possibility remains that the current 5th wave may extend further, potentially even to the next upside fib level, right? So 256, maybe even 268. And yes, the structure looks visually complete, but we haven't got that confirmation that the wave 2 has started. But that means we have to be on the side of caution, but the uptrend remains intact. I'm not calling for a top yet, but this is now the moment to be vigilant, because the next setup could be a wave 2. So if there is a pullback, then this could be an opportunity for a 3rd wave rally. But for now, there isn't even a top confirmation in wave 1. Once we have that, I can add support for wave 2 to the chart. So that's the update on XRP. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.